Tooleybuc's an isolated rural community situated on the banks of the Murray River. We have a local community of about 200 people, and in our school we have 200 students ranging from kindergarten to Year 12. The majority of our students, probably 70%, come across the river from Victoria, from small hamlets and towns in the region. We have probably less than 5% of our students come from within Tooleybuc itself. I've been teaching now for 11 years. In 2000 I was appointed to Tooleybuc as a head teacher. I was starting to question whether I was really wanting to be a teacher. I found myself struggling to get up in the mornings, come to school. I'd come there, I'd just be doing the same boring thing each time. I was actually becoming the teacher that when I was at school I really didn't enjoy, someone who just stood up there and talked the whole time. Then came the chance to go to a David Langford conference. I was interested in finding out a bit about quality and ways that I could improve my teaching. I think at the early stages I was what may be termed a tool junkie. I just went in there for the first few weeks and used tool after tool after tool. So after probably 4 or 5 weeks I decided, no, I need to do something different. At the start of this year I had a new Year 8 group, so I decided to let's get stuck right into this whole quality idea and run the whole classroom based on the quality ideas.
We start off with the 5 whys.
And that's when you start out with a base question. Ours was, why did we study English?
First answer was to learn how to read and write.
And then it was, why do you want to learn to read and write properly? And that was so we could get a job. And it was, why do you want to get a job?
To get money.
And then we asked, why do you want money? And it was so we could raise a family properly. And then it was, why do you want to raise a family?
To get a good life.
So that became our motto for first term. We study English because we want a happy life. This changed the way the students looked at English. Instead of coming in and saying, why do we have to do this, which I've heard every year of my teaching, why do we have to study English? It's now we're doing this because we want to have a happy life.
Before we did the 5 whys, I just thought English would be kind of boring and, same as it always was. But after we did the 5 whys, I realised why we have to do it and that there's a purpose behind it.
Then decided to do a consensogram with the students about how much they'd enjoyed English in Year 7. It was a very interesting activity. At first I did it and they all put 100% because being the head teacher, thought I would expect from them. Then I explained to them, no, there's no names go on this, it's anonymous, let's do it again, put it up, and the average came out at about 20%.
When it's just copying out of a textbook or just doing a sheet, you just do the work but you don't really take it in.
It was a bit boring last year.
When we're having fun, we all listen to what we're being told and try and understand it better because we're just having fun.
From there we moved on to developing a quality matrix for the marking of their work.
Every other time we did a test, we'd get our mark back and it'd be like 50 out of 100 or whatever it was, and it didn't really mean anything to us.
We're here to learn to read and write, the first step, and they said, well, a mark is not telling us if we're learning to read and write, it's just telling us can we do what you want.
Mr. Warren and everybody discussed it and we decided to make a 5-star criteria.
How would you like your work to be marked? And they said, well, we'd like to actually be involved in creating the criteria.
What we did was developed a marking criteria for our assignments because getting the marks didn't mean anything.
The way we did it was we went up to inspiration, we typed in quality works, criteria, whatever, and then we rapid fired off, and then we had first star and then whatever it means, and then we went to second star, what it means, etc.
All I had to do was stand back and let them go.
5-star was perfect, it was neat and no punctuation errors or no spelling errors. 4-star was just 1 to 3 spelling errors and 1 to 3 punctuation things. And 3-star was alright, in the middle, 5 to 6 punctuation errors and sentence structure things. 2-star was sort of really bad, a lot of spelling mistakes and punctuation errors. And 1-star was very poor work and very messy writing.
The criteria that they developed, I would say, is probably 30% to 40% more stringent than perhaps what I would have developed.
After we designed the criteria, we did an assignment, the free choice novel unit.
I really wanted them to choose, something that they were interested in.
We chose a book and we did our project and the questions based on De Bono's 6 hats. And then when it came to marking time, we highlighted what we thought it fell into, what category, like 1st star, 2nd star, 3rd star.
I found really interesting. I'd look through the work and think, yeah, that's probably about 4 star. And then I'd look at what the kids had put down for themselves, and most of them would be a lot harsher on themselves than perhaps I would have been.
Then we gave it to a friend and they marked it. And then we had like a meeting with Mr. Warren.
With mine, I thought I did not good. Then my friends said I did really good, which I knew they were lying.
Naturally get 1 or 2 whose friends gave them 100%, thinking it because they're my friend, I better do that. But when I actually discussed with them, they came to the realisation that perhaps, yeah, you know, it's not quite 100%, but it's not quite as bad as I thought I was.
But the good thing was we actually got to like talk and say what we thought we did and how good we did.
Say getting like 20 out of 100, that's like just a mark. And like with 5 stars, you actually know where you went wrong and all that, like with the presentation or grammar and stuff like that.
So I used a lotus diagram to sum up our whole first term's work and what we'd done. I gave them the tool time book with the rundown about how to use it and said, I'm going to give you half an hour, go have a look at this, and I want you to come back and explain to the rest of the class how you do it. And that was a really, really powerful exercise because those who taught it knew a lot more about it, but they were able to explain it in a way that the others could understand. After finishing that, I just once again did another consensogram with the students about how they enjoyed the first term and what we'd done. The average risen up to about 50 to 60, somewhere in that range, was a big increase from the 20 to 30 in the first term.
This year during English we did brain theory. I had no idea what the brain did, but we learnt that it's actually a dendritic spine.
What happens with a dendritic spine? It grows from the synapses.
And when you learn something, the dendritic spine like grows.
I got them into 3 groups and asked them to go and teach another year group.
Some taught year 5, 6, some taught year 7 and some taught year 9.
By the end of the lesson, the feedback from the year 5, 6 is they could tell you how the brain worked and how students learn.
If I didn't learn English, I wouldn't know what was going on with my brain.
It was kind of hard, but I enjoyed it because we got to research it and teach it.
This year in English was a lot different from last because we got to choose a lot of things that we did.
Last year, all we did was like copy our textbooks.
And this year we got to actually teach and we did heaps of stuff.
We learnt more this year than we did last year because this year we had a lot more choice and a lot more options. Last year we just got told that this is what you have to do.
And last year you didn't really learn anything, you just did it and that was it.
With the kids taking control, I'm a lot more at ease now, a lot more comfortable with my teaching, and the kids seem to be a lot happier.
So it was a lot better because we had work that we liked rather than just boring work.